Welcome to the nighttime heat. Rated on Pram FM 105.5. This is the weekend edition of the program. Today's Friday, and of course, I'm sure my panelists are making their way to this studio. I have one panelist so far. I hope the Friday will not carry George and Edwin, but I'm sure those guys they are very committed, and so they'll be here to do justice to the discussion tonight. I know Moses Sandy, also the diaspora, will join us very shortly. But this is your own program, the nighttime heat. And of course, tonight we're going to have a wonderful discussion. We're going to look at issues that are trending, issues that are of importance to you, national issues. We're going to talk about them tonight. Let me just point of what is coming up. But first, let me encourage you to share the show, share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also form part of what is happening on the nighttime heat tonight. Because, when you share this too, will follow and they too can share as well. So share the show tonight. It promises, as usual, to be very, very interesting. And of course, let me just acquaint of what is coming up tonight. Yesterday, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai held a cabinet meeting. And of course, two things that stood out to the team. We're going to talk about that. The president was very emphatic on the issue of the foreign travels. He said, well, I think beginning now we'll have to evaluate some of the requests that are coming in for foreign travels because the president, I'm sure, is concerned that some of the trips apparently it may be just a junket, where public officials traveled on government expense and absolutely nothing come out of the travels, at the detriment of the government. In fact, the president said, beginning now, we'll have to, some of our officials will have to just assign the trip, to maybe a deputy, because we want all of you to always attend the cabinet. This is where we have meeting and we'll make major discussions. And those discussions, when we make them, we expect that all the discussion will be bounding on all of us. We don't want somebody to say, well, I was not part of the cabinet, and so I didn't attend. I was not part, and so I was not part of the decision. So the president was very emphatic on the issue of attendance, of the cabinet meeting. Also, yesterday cabinet meeting, the president spoke about the resources of the country. What you want for his people to really benefit the resources. We're going to talk about that, talk about that and other issues. I know, part of our discussion tonight, we're also going to talk about, the economic sabotage case is still ongoing. And we heard that and read that the second state witness yesterday took the stand. And of course, some of what he said, people feel that, he was struggling to link Twitter and others. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight when we read the article. Well, this Yeke Koruba drama, how did it start? What did Yeke Koruba say? In fact, Yeke Koruba coming to the public glare, coming to a prominence. Who really made a Yeke? How was he made? Some of the things Yeke doing today. Who really trick on them? Who encourage him? Who embolden him? Today, Yeke now has become, a Yeke Koruba with his antics, that everybody is speaking about. We're going to talk about that tonight. And of course, the CDC Grand Bassa chapter, held a program. We're going to talk about that. The optics, the attendance, we're going to talk about those CDC still have a grip on the political, atmosphere or status of the country. That's it. That's this. The first lost their party headquarters. That was brought down by heavy machines. And they are currently building a new one. But we saw something, and in fact, Yeke spoke at that program again, and we're going to talk about that tonight as well. We understand that residents of the LBS community and the LBS management, they are at variance. So what is happening? There's a communication that's in the media, that's in the public, written by the residents of the LBS community, in which they condemned the management. When the management already has its own internal wrangling, management team members are not, meeting each other and are speaking to each other. Just quite recently, a major board meeting was held. Again, the crisis that is extending outside of the compound, where the residents of LBS community are not happy with the management. We're going to talk about that as well. Well, that's the shape of tonight's program. And of course, we spoke with the LNP briefly about, the status of things. We heard, from the chief investigator, let's put it that way. Why are they not coming out, for people to hear them? We're going to talk about that briefly as well. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat tonight. It promises to be very, very fantabulous, very fantastic. Let me welcome the man, David Benedictus Erasmus. Nangwe Tagwe. David, I'm very, very upbeat and spirited tonight. Today's Friday.
Yeah. I'm noticing that in your voice. A long time I've now heard that word, fantabulous.
I know. Yes, that word used to be.
Long time I've now heard that word, and it's good that you renewed it. So good evening, everyone. Good evening for tuning in to us. Share the view, share the video, and let all your friends and others follow us this evening. Yesterday we missed Josh Kennedy. Today he has resurfaced.
Yeah, Josh is here. Josh was on the highway yesterday. The man, it's not a small man at the people of Monrovia. They are working hard, to improve the NP.
So what we gotta do with Freeport?
No, but the man is working there, so the man went on a major mission. Josh, welcome to the program, brother.
I'd like to also say good evening to Moses if he's already on, and family wherever he is. Good evening.
You don't have the authority here.
Yeah.
What you want to claim?
You
want to claim what you don't have? George, welcome to the program.
Welcome, George. You also in there.
Thank you. I'm happy.
Oh, let me put your stuff on.
Good evening, Sabo. Thank you. I'm happy. You gave me a lot of good news. I'm taking a big person. I appreciate it highly, and I want to say good evening to Mr. Tagbe, Mr. Sandy, and to our technicians and our many listeners. We want to say sorry we couldn't be here the other time.
Yeah, surely.
But really, we're here again to propagate the good news to our people. We cannot dwell all on the bad news. We got to see some of the good news and interspice it with what's going wrong. Yeah, that's what this show is about. We agree and disagree.
Okay, so welcome, Josh. Welcome. We missed you yesterday. Yeah. And let me welcome Moses Sandy also. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabat. And let me say hi to my colleagues in studio, George, and our technical. I also want to say hi to them and tell them thank you for the good job they continue to do. I came today with mixed feelings.
What's happening?
I am happy, and I am also not happy because I listened to the repeat of our podcast, yesterday podcast, and I listened to my brother David Tagbe.
Oh,
the way Mr. Tabet been on front page Africa regarding the story which has to do with France, the intervention of France in the current situation, and they continuously said that front page Africa has integrity problem. Front page Africa, the story was not credible. There was no. His main concern was that the story could not be authenticated. But one thing Mr. Taggart forgets to know that in journalism, there's what we call anonymous sources. We do that to protect people who are closer to sources that, if identified, they run the risk of losing their job. And as a media person, I was rather offended by that. So I'm being honest. It really hurt me. Yeah. Front page is one of the most reputable in Liberia. Thank you.
Okay. So you didn't feel
It's an interesting one.
you didn't feel good about the way Tagbe spoke to bring down front page Africa yesterday. What basically did Tagbe say that you do have a problem with?
Okay, Front Page Africa reported, that I think what I was sharing, I didn't read the story, but what I was sharing is that there was this report that the French government says it is not interested in intervening in the resolution of the conflict. The target and Mr. Formula believe that the Front Page Africa report was not credible. I don't know on what basis made them to say that. And they continuously said, where is the authentication story? Where did the story come from? Front Page Africa went to put before because of credibility problem. So let's agree that Front Page Africa went to put before Front Page Africa, the media institution, was true before. But if you're going to question the report emanating from your institution, then you should be in the position to counter what the paper reported. And neither Mr. Agbe nor Mr. Famula was able to produce the evidence. They continuously said Front Page did not, as far as they were concerned, the story is not credible. How could they prove that? And Mr. Tagbe is there. Maybe he can elaborate. Let him just give us one evidence that convincing that what came from yesterday was not truthful.
It's unfortunate that Moses has started on the wrong note. And that's an unfortunate thing. And Moses has always thought that people should think the way he thinks. People should, look at things the way he sees them. The first thing is Moses. You can't teach me journalism here. I know that anonymous sources, we use them all the time in the media. And you telling me what I said was how credible was that story? I question the authenticity of that story. The fact that we had just discussed the French ambassador making a statement saying that the French government, the French authorities or authorities in Paris will make an intervention, but through our regional organizations like ECOWAS, EU. And that's what the woman said. Then the next day, Front Page Africa said, France say it has nothing to do with the business. We're not putting it inside. So that was a contradiction. You want to tell me, Moses, are you sitting in Delaware or wherever you are in the United States? Are you saying that the French ambassador here will just get up and make such?
No, Moses' concern is, Dave.
What is it?
Moses' concern
that man has no concern.
What is a yardstick you used? What is the yardstick that you use to dismiss the story? Because you said that story written by Front Page has absolutely no iota of truth. Because the ambassador had just spoken few days before the Front Page story came up. So Moses is asking for you to dismiss such a major story. What is the yardstick that you use?
I would just like to ask.
I can't.
Wait, let me really ask.
Okay,
Maybe
go ahead.
my question will
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Front Page Africa on this matter and the ambassador on this matter, who is more credible?
Who is more prominent?
Or prominent or credible? If I don't use a credibility, credible.
They use credible.
So are you insinuating that front page is not credible? So this, are you insinuating?
Lie.
No, I'm coming now.
I didn't even want
I'm
to
coming, comrade. Okay, let's leave. Let's leave. Dave, I'm coming to you, comrade. Dave, it's good that Moses brought it back. What is the yardstick that you use?
Oh.
Does front page have the record of running wrong stories?
The first thing is that, look, I did not bluntly say that Front Page Africa lied.
Yeah,
I said I question the authenticity of the story, because we had just a day before, we had just quoted the French ambassador accredited near Monrovia,
Surely.
you know, telling the Liberian community or Liberian people that the French authorities sitting in Paris will make an intervention, but through our regional bodies, ECOWAS and AU.
Let me ask
I question the authenticity of the story.
ask the both of you.
That's a good question George is asking. Who do you believe, Front Page Africa or the ambassador?
But why would you want to believe Front Page Africa?
I would.
So, but let me answer that question.
Do you know, George? I know we got all of our major issues to talk about. This issue was just yesterday. It's just a carry over.
Yeah,
but now, listen, George, do you know, and Tagwe also, that you can make a decision, that Paris could make a decision on Monday, and before the night goes, Paris say, well, no, we can't form part anymore, and change his decision.
Excuse me. So Paris.
So it's not possible that Front Page will get the information?
No. Excuse me. What I don't know is that someone is playing the devil's advocate. That's what I don't know.
Which devil? Which devil?
He's good at it. I know
These guys are so interesting. All right, Moses, let's hear your comments on the transition. We can go into our major discussion.
Before you go to Mr. Sandy's, Sandy is, I listened to the part of the show at this particular analysis, but no way.
Okay, to call, yeah.
Yeah, in all fairness, that reportage undermines, has the propensity, let me do it like this, to undermine the gains being made.
It has the propensity?
Yeah.
Like how?
The people I want to hear from,
yeah,
not Front Page on this matter. The people I want to hear from are the French people that we went to.
So are you saying that if Front Page out of
France, if the heir of France, who happened to be the president of France or Liberia, can not press release, but call the press conference and speak to the Liberian people and say, look, your government has reached to us. We are working through the regional institutions here to resolve the problem.
Then the next day, Front
Page bring out sorry. If France did not want any part, the ambassador was there kept quiet. Because the question I'm asking, it's not possible that they could make a decision of that nature. Are coming, but from Africa could have a source from the end.
Before Moses comes in, Moses talking about France and Africa being credible. I'm not questioning this his opinion. That's his opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, the same Front Page Africa that is Moses says is beating the chest for that is credible. A publisher went to jail years back for publishing a story that was impregnated. That was
before then.
Yeah,
that was before then. So if it happened before, are you saying because it happened then, so it means that all the stories that Front Page are reported, they are all lies?
That eroded Front Page Africa's credibility.
All right, Moses, you can come in. Moses
can go with it. I'm not going to tell Moses say they'll think this way.
Moses, you can come in so we can go and we can transition quickly to talk about our today's stories.
You know, I like the argument. I like the debate. I heard my brother say Front Page Africa is not a credible media entity. And Soba said the same thing.
Please do not misquote me.
You see that again.
On this particular matter,
Front Page can be credible. And I said
Front Page front page what they brought is very Iranian. They cannot credible. They cannot be the credible entity bringing this particular story. After the ambassador already spoken, they see the next day they brought that story.
Is it from the other
They are not even that authoritative.
But the question I asked you guys, I did say it's possible that the ambassador has
It's not possible.
the next day front page and press
no.
Let them prove that. Let them show now.
All right, gentlemen,
How they got the story.
let's
that one Moses said before that sources. You say that sources are anonymous sources, but another person you say.
So it's just unfortunate. Moses are coming.
This kind of
It's
thing,
just
yeah.
unfortunate that media gurus let that and John will want to question the integrity of Africa.
On this matter,
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the president, His Excellency Joseph Boyka, held his one of his usual cabinet meeting, and we saw a couple of videos from there. In fact, one of the videos that was just trending, it was a video that looks so comical with one of the ministers, trying to rest himself, sleeping. But we're not going to go into that now. Maybe that video will come later on at the close of our program. But the president spoke about key issues. We heard him talking about the issue of foreign travels, and then he also spoke about the resources of the country. He really wants his people to benefit the resources, which is very, very, important. We hailed the president for that, to mention that, his people, the people of Liberia, should be able to benefit from the resources of this country. But let's play the tip that has to do with the foreign travel first, and then we can talk about our own takeaway.
There's a statement that it is necessary once in a while what we do. As you know, topic is big. And whatever we do, we are experimenting how we should conduct our meetings so that they are effective. And so this arrangement watching. Dealing with specific topics that are very critical. So I want to welcome you and express my usual appreciation for what you do. Sometimes I just sit and think about what you do, the effect it has on our society, even to the smallest thing that happen. Because of the time important effort. And I just talk to you that forget about what's in the market and focus. I understand that we are here, what's the reason ministers is also very much because everything we do has been observed, and you are the ones in the agenda. I'm sure you have all been following up all the issues around the border, the non-violent country. Especially plays a big company, traditional relationship, an area with Sierra Leone, or whatever. Not everything that you did, everybody knows, but that's important to us that we're able to calm the situation. The crisis in the Middle East are haunting all of us. I'm sure you can already start feeling it by the price that you're paying on your fuel. Maybe if you are dependent on imported food, but maybe even local food, but we have to live with it, but we have to work towards understanding that this is the very reason why we should all begin to look into our own country and make things work. Nowadays, the moment someone completes high school, they're coming to ask you for foreign scholarship. I think there's come a time where people will believe it. The best is always out there. But again, our effort is to make the best here, and I'm sure things are working. Far off fields look greener, but we thank God that maybe this is like other people outside there looking in here. We have to plan what we do, and this is the way in which we're able to do things properly. The government, almost every day I get 3 or 4 or 5 letters of requests for travel. Georgia, some of the benefits of travel, and some of the ministers and people who travel, that sometimes I'm very hesitant to say no, but we do want to plan a way that we can evaluate the purpose of the travel to make sure that these travels can be minimized, to put in more time in the country. Sometimes some of these travels can be assigned to another man who can do them. For me, I always believe that all of us, not just nationalists, but also we are conscious of cost, and even the time we take away. So sometimes you have to know what trip you can make and which one you can't. And we hope that I try to leave that with cabinet ministers to decide, but except when it comes to illness, when people come and say, let me go do my medical check, you can't refuse them that. For me, I always believe that you have a conscious mind to know what is right and the responsibility you have. But again, attending cabinet meetings, that is very important, because this is where you make decisions that affect the rest of the country. Even if you have some trip to make and you believe that trip can be deferred, or maybe it can be assigned to a junior cabinet minister, it is important that you are here, because the decisions we take here bind all of us. You can't say I was not there. We want to encourage all of you to be here. At times when the encouragement doesn't work, we will have to seek other means by which we ensure that people will take cabinet meetings serious.
Okay. So let's pause on that. Gentlemen, you listen to the president. I think he spoke with euphemism. He wanted to be a bit harsh, but he chose the words to calm, to reduce the harshness. He listened to the president. He said, "We have to encourage you all to attend cabinet meetings, and if the encouragement will not work, we'll have to use other means." I think the president, but let me hear from you, Dave. What you're reading, when the president especially spoke about the issue of attendance, the issue of minimizing foreign travels and also vis-a-vis the benefits? Let's hear from you.
Someone, you made a good observation. The president carefully, chose his words. Apparently not wanting to create bad feelings amongst members of the cabinet who were in the meeting. But the president has struck a good point. If there's a foreign trip that a minister of government is going to make or an official of government is going to make, the trip has to be evaluated as, it has to be evaluated whether it is necessary for the minister proper to go or that travel can be deferred to a junior minister. Have you noticed, Saba, when it comes to travel in most of our ministries and agencies, the minister proper will always want to be the one to go. Even if we have 3 trips in a month, the minister proper alone would be going. What's about the deputy? What's about the assistant ministers? So sometimes the selfishness on the part of the ministers, the senior ministers. And some of the travels are, in some cases determined by the country that is sending the invitation. Sometimes the countries that send the invitation or citation will say, look, we want the foreign minister herself to come, and not deputies. Because a deputy minister will not go sit down, go abroad where the senior ministers expect the deputy minister to sit among them. So sometimes the countries or groups that are sending the invitation, they can be specific as to who should attend. And the president also wants most of the ministers, not all the time there's a cabinet meeting then, but 3-4 ministers are abroad. They're gone abroad. Sometimes of trips that the deputy or assistant ministers will make, they want to attend it. Even if it's a workshop abroad, they want to go. Apparently because of maybe the travel paradigms or the pleasure of traveling. And that's what the president wants to put stop to. That these cabinet meetings are very important. The input of the senior ministers are very important. And their absence will somehow negatively impact the outcome because they are not there to provide the requisite information or relevant information that needed at a particular meetings.
Okay, let's go here. George, you listen to the president. Sometimes he can be very hesitant. But the first thing he spoke about was the benefits. From how the president spoke, do you think he's quite pleased that foreign travels have been done and little benefits are coming? Do you think he's quite troubled about that?
Sure, and he just tried to apply his
wisdom,
his diplomatic credential in addressing his cabinet. He's not happy. I know President Boakai. He says it. He may see every time he speaks to people, he speaks with respect. He will disagree with you seriously, but he will speak to you with a kind of respect.
Surely.
He's telling those guys, look, we are almost like approaching a recession because you see the global crisis is affecting us. You can see that you can tell from the cost of fuel. Now the costs have now extended to local produce because it's tied to transportation to move those goods and all that thing. So you see people are being affected. So better you stay here with this cause. We plan better and apply our energies and efforts in rejuvenating the domestic economy instead of us every time you go, sometimes most often nothing coming back. One project, you made more than 15 trips. He didn't say this, but he just saying it to modify, So these things, they're not necessary. And he's trying to tell them, once you don't plan, you will not be able to succeed. So here is a cabinet meeting where we come to plan and we go to execute. So you have to be here. At the end of the day, he's not happy. He's not happy about too much foreign travels and stuff. These have been a crisis that have faced almost all the governments in the past, including this. And, so I think he's trying
he's
to
not happy.
It, yeah.
Now, Moses, the latter part of the president's address on that whole issue of travel, you heard him, he said, will encourage people to begin to either evaluate or look at the ones to take. But if the encouragement will not work, then we'll have to use other means to stop people from just traveling at will or traveling, going on trips that at the end of the day, they don't yield any results to the country. But so let's hear from you.
Thank you. But look, so before I answer your question, a couple of things that really stood out to me
Mhm.
when the president spoke. Again, let me bring government communication under the microscope. Government communication is extremely critical. President Walker is a spoken person. When that man is given the opportunity to speak, even when the needle drops, that needle, the sound of that needle should be heard. You can't go to a cabinet meeting. The president is speaking. Look at how terrible that audio was. This is the president of the Republic of Liberia at a cabinet meeting. You guys record this man on cell phone. What are you doing? The man is the most powerful person in the country. Government communication is terrible. You got heard the audio. It was the same thing with the State of the Nation that not the State of the Nation, but the message that he delivered after the trip to Guinea. Look at how terrible that was. Where are the people who are doing communication in government? Now, let's come back to the statement that emanated from the president. When I studied administration in government, when I studied administration in graduate school, one thing I learned in graduate school was that leaders lead by example. If I say something, George, right time, 8 o'clock in the morning, I need to be there 8 o'clock in the morning. What am I saying? The president is complaining about people making unnecessary foreign travels, multiplicity of foreign travels, the implication on the economy, the implications on other key sectors of the government. Now let's ask the president, does he not make other trips? Is he leading by example? Let's take, for example, the recent trip to the United Nations. He was at the UN. The foreign minister was at the UN. He also took with him what? The chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs. What was the essence of that? He went to Japan. He took almost the entire cabinet. He went to China. He took almost everybody. The president traveled to Ghana to attend a wedding ceremony of a friend of his daughter. Don't you have other prominent people in government to represent you? And you complaining about your cabinet minister? Human behaviors are learned. What you do, that's why your cabinet ministers are copying after. If you want people to make sure that they are not taking advantage of foreign travel, Mr. President, when you know that a meeting is called and your foreign minister can represent you, tell your foreign minister to go. In fact, now the world has become a global village. Some of those meetings can be attended virtually. You don't have to go. By the way, our president goes there. Abroad. Do you know what it means when the president travels? Now, lastly, let me say this. I heard the president say, I heard you guys say the president was trying to encourage his cabinet, There's a word English called assertiveness, meaning that when you feel hurt, you have to express that hurt appropriately. You don't use euphemism. So, for example, if someone George is one of bullying me, he calls me African nigger, African nigger. I need to ask Mr. George for a meeting. I say, hey, Mr. George, yeah, I'm a human being like yourself. I feel offended when I'm being referred to as a nigger. I am not insulting Mr. George, but I'm letting him know my emotions. The president is upset, he's angry, he's the chief executive, he's the most powerful person in the country. You tell your cabinet. Now look, cabinet meetings are imperative. I don't want people lagging. You're not encouraging. The people wait for you. They are amenable to you. You give a directive. You either part of the cabinet meeting or you choose. If there is a legitimate reason why you cannot be at a cabinet meeting, let us know in advance.
Okay. All right. Let's read that Moses. You listen to Moses. Moses, if I will paraphrase him, he said the president shouldn't be complaining about the foreign travels because he himself is not living by example, he said.
So Mr. Sunday named some places where he said the president traveled. And when the president talked about travel, he talked about tangible returns. When the president went to New York, when Liberia was taking over the UN Security Council non-permanent member seat, Mr. Sunday is in Delaware in the United States. I don't know why that is important to him. Mr. Sunday, you said the president went to Japan. But the return, when the Japanese government signed to put the double lane, the full lane from Freeport to Johnson Street, and then where even that Johnson Street bridge, what we call the Gabriel Tucker Bridge, they'll be putting the similar thing on the side. And you said the president traveled plenty. So
but that hasn't come to fruition yet.
They signed it. They were so start. The project was
no, we haven't seen men on the ground.
Yeah, definitely. You will soon see.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, you will soon see.
Go ahead.
So you will soon see Mr. Sunday when the president went to China. You will soon see the impact of that trip in Asia on the agri sector, where you come and be shocked after the rest of the machines that we are buying. That one strictly is a grant from China, about 300 plus farming equipment to Liberia. So that's tangible. When the president flew to Guinea, it was about national security that affected Liberia. So cabinet ministers leaving the country to go for trips, he's saying, if the returns on those trips are not tangible enough, you don't have to go. Sometimes you send your deputies or your assistant because the cost could be cheaper. And then we come to the issue of him, Mr. Sunday said, look, I will give directive because I'm the president.
And not encouraging them.
Not showed. Look, let me tell you, the word directive in administration is good, but sometimes it can look hostile in some people because they don't know how to give it when they're giving a directive. So that's why when you're working with someone, you know them. I said the president wasn't satisfied. That's why he brought it out. The fact that he brought it, or anybody work with the president, he knows that he's not satisfied. The president is not going to govern or speak the way Mr. Sunday wants him to govern or speak. This president and everybody in this country, everybody knows this president. He has never getting into argument with anybody. Even if he's not satisfied, he's speaking, he will speak diplomatically.
So what is wrong if the president came up to say, look, cabinet ministers, this meeting that we are attending today, it's compelling. I expect that any time I call this meeting, all cabinet ministers should be in attendance.
Okay, so that's
then to say I will encourage all of you,
yeah.
and if the encouragement does not work, then we'll have to
do this.
use
Fine,
different means.
Fine, you know that's the best thing to do. I'm encouraging you to come to this meeting. If you don't come, a fool, there's punitive measures that await you. That's why we call, how to call it, a warning. It was a warning, but he did a warning in diplomatic form. He's not going to say it the way Mr. Taylor may have said it when you were president, or even former President Weah when you're in authority. He didn't address his cabinet like that. And, so people, leadership start different. So we cannot just
but if you listen to, I mean, if maybe you took, you did a census, maybe you spoke with a bulk of the ministers who attended that meeting. Not all of them would think that the president is not happy.
Oh, okay. So I'm a subject to an introvert, someone who maybe they don't like to talk, they always something to themselves, right? And I know that this person, he doesn't like to calm this heart. When the person tells me, say, George, this thing you're doing, I think you have to slow down or stop, or else if you don't do it, I will be taking action. I will take him very serious. Because that person is not a lousy person that always here to take his action. For me, I'm the kind of guy, I will stay in the hall, at my workplace, I will stand people who perform, I will tell you, thank you, you did well. People who didn't perform, I will not call your name. I will say, others, I'm encouraging you to make sure that you follow the examples of other people. But that's not how Boakai does.
Now, the cabinet ministers, why do you think that they find interest in or find pleasure in wanting to go on all trips?
I think I said it when I took my position on that. They want to travel, some the pleasure of traveling, maybe they work the travels. Some it's out of selfishness. They must always be in a plane. And the deputies you just said, even in this country, there's some cabinet ministers, they have 2-3 vehicles. Their deputies or assistant ministers don't have vehicles. It's been, that's self-centeredness. It's all about it. At least the president himself has noticed that, and that's why he's trying to stop. And look, maybe we used to the style. Look, that's what somebody said. I think Kennedy said it. That look, there are different leadership styles. There was some suburb would handle his domestic affairs at home. They address his wife or address the children when they go in astray. That's not how another father would handle the issues. Other fathers are very mild in discussing issues. Others are aggressive in discussing the issues. So when they come home, they put their tails between their because of fear. So the father comes home to fear. But when the mother is with them, they feel relaxed. So there are different ways people can approach it. President Boakai is not Charles Taylor. President Boakai is President Boakai. He's a guy who's quiet in nature. So that he takes to the leadership of the country.
Now, but if you listen to now, let me read it, and I know shortly transition. Viewers, just share the live video so that your friends, your relatives, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the Night and Heat. But if you listen to your colleague Moses, he said, by right, the president should live by example. That's what leadership calls for. But he makes all of the trips. He's traveling and he's carrying his minister of foreign affairs. He's carrying his minister of justice or minister of Lensisma. He should live by example. There are certain trips, according to Moses, that the president should just say, well, let me ask my minister of foreign affairs to go.
The trips that the president makes, as far as I'm concerned, they're determined by their nature.
Okay.
And determined by the invitation sent. I said it initially, that if there's a foreign trip that the president needs not to do, President Boakai wouldn't go. But if a communication comes and say, look, I'm sending let me start the example. We are media people. Radio France International sends a citation to Prime FM, for example, and say, I want the managing managing director or station manager to come. If Kevin doesn't have the time, he will communicate that, look, because I don't have the time, I know there's station managers meeting in France at the Radio France International.
I'm designating.
But because of these circumstances, I'm designating my deputy to come. Under those kind of circumstances, you would agree. But if the trip is intended for the station manager, it's Kevin will go. And not
So in another word, you are saying that
in another word, some of the invitations, like some of the trips that Kennedy made reference to, they were attended by the leaders of other countries. Look, for most of the trips the president made, they were attended by presidents and not vice presidents or speaker of the house.
Okay, all right. General will transition very shortly, but let me begin with Moses on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moses, want to come in? I was coming in there with a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the president was very emphatic on the issue of foreign travels. Like he said, sometimes he's hesitant not to allow. But if a minister came and said, "Well, I want to go do my medical," he can stop you. But in another word, he's also telling them that, look, we'll have to begin to evaluate some of the travels that are made. And there's no need, in fact, some of the ministers traveling. Instead, some of the trips, just assign it to your deputy.
In other words,
so that your deputies can go.
In other words,
now,
you're talking about genuine.
Moses, let me ask you on this one. Shortly we'll be transitioning. The president's emphasis on the issue of foreign travels, do you think it was struggled by maybe the minimal or low returns from those trips, especially for a government that is in its third year? Moses, let me ask you that question first.
Absolutely. The president has taken a closer look in terms of returns. And he has gotten to the point that, hey, I think there is exploited. But again, the question goes back to him. Mr. President, are you leading by example? And I heard colleagues talk about, oh, well, we're looking at the dividends. Look, the person who sells Liberia besides the president is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. If there are other permanent trips that need to be made and you want to cut down on costs, you don't have to take 50 people with you. Take your foreign minister to represent you. Tell the people, hey, I will appear virtually. That is acceptable in today's world. I'm talking to you from the United States. I'm not in Liberia. You're talking to me from Liberia. You're not in the United States. We're having a real intelligent conversation. You can have any conference virtually. But when you're taking 50 people with you, some of the guys come to the United States here. They don't even go to those conferences. They go for the opening. The rest of the day, they are same family people. And they get out of the allowances at the space of a very poor country. And people say, oh, you don't justify. Look, I use the word assertiveness. When someone is assertive, the person is not being dictatorial. The person is letting out his or her emotions in a calm and respectful way. You are President, Republic of Liberia. You tell your cabinet meeting is very critical. It forms part of your work. My expectation is that every cabinet minister except we grant you a request, but all cabinet ministers are required to attend cabinet meeting. You don't encourage them. You don't tell your cabinet minister, say, I'm encouraging you. You stress the importance of the meeting. Stressing the importance of the meeting, that doesn't make you a dictator. And what I see President Baka doing is that he's pampering. He's treating the people like kids. He's treating them like grandfathers. You're not treating, leaders don't treat people who report to them as parents. You tell them what the expectations are. I function at managerial level in this country. I know what it means to run institutions. Thank you.
You know,
Yes, we'll shortly. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
You know, sometimes when Moses speaks, he reminds me of a politician in this country who thinks he has all the answers. He has all the strategies. That's how Moses sounds to me sometimes. Moses wants to sit down in the United States and tell all our officials of government how to run their offices. You know, it doesn't work that way. President Walker has a calm demeanor, and that also, you know, he takes to leadership. He's not an aggressive person. He said he's pampering. The president is trying to sit down with his cabinet ministers as head, even as their father, and talking to them. This is the right way to go. Moses says it's wrong. You shouldn't pamper them. You call that pampering? The president is inspiring, encouraging his cabinet members to do the right thing and guiding them maybe for their own future, because somebody will be presidents tomorrow. And Moses says it's wrong. Okay.
He wants the president to rule.
Now, let me ask you first, before you come in. The president often uses euphemism to speak to his cabinet, even when he's not happy. You get what I'm saying? We can record when the president spoke to, how you call the Minister of Commerce. Moses is going to remember, right? When he spoke to the Minister of Commerce, the president was not happy. But the way he said it, he didn't want her to, make feel bad. But as he was saying that, you saw those guys, the cameraman zooming on. Yes, we know that's the president's style. He doesn't sound aggressively. He doesn't give orders or instructions. He uses euphemism. But do you think, my brother, does it work in all spheres? Does it work in every situation that as a president, you can one day instruct or orders your cabinet? Rather, you use words to manage maybe whatever you want to say, so as not to make them feel uncomfortable. Or do you always?
No, but again, the other side too, you don't always. That's why you need to match the two.
But the president has never matched the two.
You are not always, but
when he spoke to the Minister of Commerce, he used to say
what did you see the next day? After he spoke.
No, I mean she started going around.
Okay, so you see, that's why when I started talking, I said, when you're working with someone, you have to know them. Knowing someone in Liberia, we just feel that when we know somebody's name, it means we know their behavior, their response to issues. When they are angry, how they respond. Anybody, I mean, most of the friends I go around, real friends, we interact all the time. The first thing I can do is try to make you angry. I want to see how you react when you are angry. The day I see you in the mood, I know straight what to do. Because if all the joys be all around every time, the day you get angry when you do it, I will say, I'm surprised. I don't want to be surprised.
George, when the president spoke at that meeting, at that cabinet meeting, where he used the same euphemism, when he was trying to, in another word, scold the Minister of Commerce. The president again spoke about the attendance of cabinet ministers in meeting.
So you know what?
Yet again, he spoke about that yesterday. So it means.
And what did he say this time?
I'm coming. Yeah, he said if the encouragement will not work, you have to use other means.
Yes.
But should the president be speaking in that faction? Why can't the president say, look, You will have to attend cabinet meeting. Cabinet meeting is very important. They will make critical decisions. Then to always use information. That's the question I'm asking.
That is
Is it producing any results?
Yes. Yes. If this wasn't producing results,
The comment minister
you
would
will
have
have seen you
Without what the one is said, the comment minister would have
you will have seen action from him.
Okay.
And he was very clear. He said the time it's coming to the point where we're going to allow, maybe when someone is sick,
you're going to do your medical.
You're going to do your medical.
We'll begin to evaluate foreign travels.
We'll begin to evaluate foreign travels. As we speak, he already started that thing before he could speak. I'm hearing some news from some places about we like to travel. They're not going. The action has been taken before even he could talk. Many people don't know this president. Some people say he's weak. Don't let this president to get on the left side to tell you, say no. You go to go,
okay, let me hold you there. Now, Moses, let me ask you the same question. You followed the cabinet meeting when the president, spoke about the issue of the commerce. He used the same euphemism. Again, yesterday, the same. He tried to manage his words so that his ministers will not feel somehow discomfortable. Do you see Moses as a leader? You should always you should always be fighting to speak to your cabinet ministers.
Moses will tell you what you want to hear.
No, that's an opinion.
That's
an opinion.
I'm not saying
you tell me why I want to hear fine. Moses, go ahead.
So let me share with you guys an experience here abroad. When we go for leadership meeting, CEOs of companies, they don't tell you, say, I will encourage you. They will tell you, we have noticed that people are coming to work with it, and this is creating a problem for the company. That is what we have decided as an entity. We give you a grace period, hypothetically, of 5 minutes. If you come after that 5 minutes, we'll ask you to go back home the first time, the second time, the third time, you are terminated. Those are clearly defined policy issues. That's how people do.
You got to be straightforward.
When people, you don't treat them.
You don't have to mince your words.
No, you don't. You tell people what their expectations are. If you are my if you are the driver of George, expectation is that you got to pick it up 8 o'clock in the morning. It can be coming 9:30 or 10 o'clock and telling the man, "Oh, my mom was sick." No, you have to choose whether to keep the job or not.
Okay. All right, Moses, you made your point. I think we sufficiently spoke about the issue of the president's concern about foreign travels. Let's play the second tape when the president spoke about the resources of the country.
We also want to talk about the main agenda. The resources of this country. These are the resources that we need to build this country. They've been negotiated long before you and I came on the scene. But we have a responsibility to protect what is here now. Protection doesn't mean not making them maybe people with resources to exploit them. But we have to make sure that the benefit from that will trickle down to our people. Because when they are all depleted, there's nothing else you have to show. We should be blessed that we have them, And you should be happy that you have the responsibility at this time to decide who exploit them and what do we get in return. I don't care what people do, what they gave you. You always ask yourself, if I were not here, would they do that? And if I'm not here tomorrow, and they will take what? This is a Pharaoh that doesn't know Joseph. So we have a responsibility. And these days, we can look around to see best practices, things that we can learn from countries that are benefiting from their resources. And so you're not reinventing the wheel. And I hope that we, in our discussion today, will look at best practices. And also, even in the exploitation of the resources, we have to know how our people are benefiting from that, especially in the mining sector, water pollution. That's why I talk about building roads. I have the belief that if we go into our bushes, there are a lot of people with shovels and diggers taking out our gold and so forth. You say, oh, they're just small, but all of that put together, what do we get out of it? So much have made it difficult, and it's people don't understand. Take, for example, the roads you're talking about. There's nothing you can do about it because all these agreements were signed and people knew that activities would be going on, and the investors have to transport the minerals to the port, and they didn't bind them to building railway. So how else did you expect them? So sometimes we try to press, but sometimes we have to also be reasonable, otherwise we could be questioned when you sign the agreement, did you not take into consideration that I have to make money? And you can't say because you didn't sign it.
All right, so gentlemen, that's the second court, the second issue that that seems to stand out during the yesterday cabinet meeting by the president. You heard him talking about our people benefiting from the resources of the country, and he said it's good that we are here to ensure that our people benefit from the resources. I don't know whether that was a way of throwing jobs as well, that on other administration people didn't benefit from. But Dave, let me hear from you quickly.
You know, the first thing, if past leaders or previous leaders had similar views or intentions in the usage or
David
the
Tabwe.
utilization of our
Benedictus Rasmus Tabwe.
why is it there?
You're not at the main level.
No, go ahead. I like the way you started.
You know, if other leaders, have similar plan or mindset about the utilization, the correct utilization of our proceeds from our resources, our country would have gone far.
Okay.
Farther than this. Countries that have resources, even some countries that have minimal resources, that is reflected in their countries, their infrastructure, the livelihood of their people, roads, and other things. You can see it. People only have, sometimes they have just only gold. There are some people that only have only bauxite. But the process from the bauxite or from that one natural resource has significantly and positively impacted, the livelihood of the people. What's about us that have abundance of resources? Look at where our country is. 2026, we're talking about stay building roads, stay connecting our country with roads. Where did the resources go? previous regimes, not necessarily the latter part. I'm not talking about Jawiyad and Ellington, but they're from days of old. Why we stay at this stage? Why we people we always use the 14 years of war as the biggest excuse? But there are a lot of resources in the country. So the president is trying to redirect. He's trying to redirect, the country, making sure that proceeds from our resources are trickled down to the livelihood of people, to improve the lives of the people, improve infrastructure in the shortest possible time, less than 3 years or less than 4 years. We see the differences. We're seeing people now leaving from here this evening, going to Kipama and reaching 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. That ain't.
Are you sure of that, David?
I'm sure of that. I'm telling
Or
you.
you just speaking from hearsay? Okay, let me leave it there. Let's hear from you, Comrie.
So that's
No,
how
but let
resources
me
should be
come
used.
in with this, George. The president is talking about our people benefiting from the resources of the country. Like David said, it may not be, it may be like the job is true that we are here now. He was very emphatic that under his administration, people will begin to benefit from the resources of the country. You think, Comrie, because maybe other previous leaders they didn't have or they didn't think the way today the president is thinking. You think that's the reason why today we still depending on small country like Guinea to give us electricity, small country like Ivory Coast, and up to now we're still building roads?
I won't be very emphatic, but I think they should have done far better. They had an opportunity to really, even the war, we're not supposed to be suffering for roads and electricity. In all fairness, in everything that we do, in spite of everything, from 1847 to 1990, we shouldn't have be suffering for. We should be talking about road repairs and other things, not to talk about those roads in the country. I mean, so when it comes to this president, there are some of the agreements that Madam Salif administration signed that there were some waivers because of the status of the country, the economy at the time. And those agreements are always subject to review. Even some of them are probably former president we have signed, even Mr. Taylor signed, and, or former president, interim president Judy Bryant signed. Like Asala Meta, like Judy Bryant's time was signed, So the president now, when I heard him say, we are now studying best practice from other countries to see how we will not be violating their rights, but we want best practice that will benefit our people. They are going to review the mineral laws of Liberia. I already seen it. The government is going to review those laws. It will not be to the detriment of the investors, but it will be to the benefit of the two parties. We are mutual arrangement. Most of the agreements those people sign, not that they sign it because they hate the country, but at that time they signed it, the environment, the condition that existed do not exist today. So it's time for us, when we go back to the renegotiating table, to be able to come from there with strength. Strength with roads, strength with access to electricity that is increasing, and strength with a lot of young people being educated compared to 2005, 2006, 7, 8, and So all of those things, the president looking trying to match those things against the resources that we have so that the return to the country will increase. How will you come and invest in our country? Even for example, let's look at these people in K-Mount. Yeah, brother. You're giving someone around $30, $40 million a year and you're carrying billions of dollars. How?
But it's the same thing happening today. Let me leave it now and go to Moses. I'm coming.
It's actually happening because of the old law. Because of the old law.
No. He's spoken. Have you not spoken?
Why are you rushing?
Right.
Why are you rushing?
Nobody rushing. Nobody spoke at the same time. I give
That's
the same time.
The agreement I mentioned was signed today. Is in force today.
Granted, we agree.
So,
let me leave
I was
you now.
very balanced to say those who sign those agreements, they say someone in the condition is signing on, do not exist today. There's improvement on the ground. Came on, got 24 hours electricity.
Okay, let me hold you there. Now, you said those agreements that today we are still, operating on, were agreements signed in the past. Now, Moses, the president spoke about the resources of the country. The people should begin to, our people should begin to benefit from the resources. He said that's the reason why, you're very emphatic, that's the reason why we are here today, so that our people can begin to benefit. And then he also said there are people who are mining our minerals. What do we get from there? He was saying, which any good president or a president who means well for his country should be thinking in that direction. But today, Moses, are we not doing exactly? This government has entered the 10th year. Are we still not doing things to prevent or stop our people from benefiting from the resources of the country? Are we not still, Moses? Let's hear from you.
Well, I would say we have the same problem, but let me begin on a good note. The question raised by the president is very, very genuine. And I think any national leader should think about that. Even at the family, we should think about benefit from what. But in the case of Liberia, this is the perennial problem that we have had for the years. Let me narrow on the Bouakai administration. When Mr. Bouakai campaigned in 2023, he promised to run a small but efficient government. Today, look at your workforce. Your workforce exploded as a result of what? Political patronage.
No, please. Let the man speak. You come listen now. You can't talk if you wish to. Yeah, you can't talk if you wish to. Yeah, the man go ahead. No, you can't say the man is deviating.
My brother and friend Moses is deviating from the thing.
Please.
Okay, Moses, go ahead, my brother.
You express yourself. We talk about the nation's resources. Draw the dichotomy here for me. Let's be a little bit, academic here. We're talking about resources. I said, let's narrow down on this administration. The government, the Bouakai administration has bloated the workforce. Are you not spending a lot of money paying money to people that are doing literally nothing? Doesn't that align with resources, Mr. Tagwe? Answer that question for me.
Certain examples. Certain example.
Yeah. My man, let's not stoop to that level, man. Let me move forward. So what I'm saying here is
What's the difference?
What's the difference
between the payroll of yesterday and the payroll of today? What has the payroll today increased by?
And what measurement are you?
That's a discussion you're trying to dive in.
So what measurement?
Please, gentlemen, the man is in speech, man. Yeah. The man is in flight.
The current workforce of the Liberian government is more than 70,000. And let's go back to 2023 when the President Bouakai campaign. Did he not promise the people that he wanted a small but efficient? Let's even assume that our job has 70,000 people, and this administration has 70,000 people. Doesn't that tell you that President Bouakai is not keeping the promise that he made in 2023? Did he not tell you he wanted a small but efficient?
He should move the people from the payroll, check them on the street.
And no, I'm just saying something. I want us to be a little bit reasonable, George.
Mr. Sandy. Mr. Sandy is if the past government.
No, let the man learn. Let the man learn.
This is come in. Okay.
Comrade, let him learn. You come in. Yeah. Why?
Like you say,
Okay, so I'm saying here is that if I tell you, say, hey, George is not a good driver, instead of driving 10 miles a day, I would do it. I would do 8 miles a day to cover the same distance. If I take on a vehicle, I am doing 12 miles, or I'm even doing the same time. People say, but wait now, Moses, what's the difference between you and George? You said the man was doing 10 miles, and you're doing the same 10 miles. And you promised us that you are going to do less. The average police officer in Nigeria, according to Konokoma, pay less than $200 a month. Let's look at the taxes that we generate. This person is paid less than $200 a month. Go to some government agencies where you have the UP folks with limited education, no training, no job experience. Are they not making more than $300 a month? Are they not making thousands of dollars and producing nothing? Don't you see that? Again, the president talks about what? Managing the resources of the country. I agree. The president is absolutely right. How do you manage resources of the country when JFK had no drugs? But this president authorized $1.4 million for the purchase of vehicles, fleet of vehicles, for him, the vice president, and EPS officers. You go to JFK, no drugs. You go to some of the schools, no chairs. You have a speaker with a budget of more than $1.8 million. And you have the National Food Assistance Agency that's supposed to be catering to the needy. That's what the president said, that the people benefit. The government set up the National Food Assistance Agency to support the needy. Look at the budget. Less than $600,000. What is the president talking about? The president is saying one thing, but in reality, practicing the opposite of what he's saying.
Okay. Let's go there. I think you spoke on. Let's go there. Yeah, George.
let me say, Tagbe come here.
No, you come in.
I'm trying to do something.
All right, let me read what I have here, gentlemen.
So-
Before I just did a small research. Let me read what I have. As of early 2026, the Liberian public workforce stands at 63,130 employees, according to the Civil Service Agency, the CSA, reflecting a slight increase from 60,900 in 2024, representing the current government's personnel numbers under former President George Weah. The administration was marked by efforts to reform the period. Okay, now, so there's a slight increase.
Okay, so you see, that's what I say when Mr. Sandy tried to discuss economics, but he could not go to the numbers. And that's the challenge that he has. Look at the number, that difference I went to, that I wanted to discuss.
Yeah, I just got it.
Bro,
Don't worry.
At the end of the day, a government that came to power after the Wage Bureau already blotted all the public entities filled with Liberians, not foreigners. Mr. Sandy is telling this government that small number that he added there, drop all those people. They're not Liberians. Move them from on the payroll so the government can remain very small. Mr. Sandy, if you are my economic advisor, I will fire you. Because you know what you'll be doing? You'll be taking the country to war. The government is the highest employer. Private sector is not functioning properly. And so you cannot come after the last administration left this wage bill. You move everybody from the payroll. You want to bring your own people. Even Ahu here, who supported it, the current regime will not be in support of that. That's the first thing. So if you take the difference of that number from the past regime, you see that money that the government had added on it will be very, very minute. Small number of people. So if this government is managing liabilities that is inherited, it cannot even bring.
How do you manage when you add up?
What? No, listen now.
Mhm.
You're managing the nearly 90% or 95% of the people that you bet on the payroll.
Then
And
you
Then
see,
yeah, you have to act. You know why you have to act?
No.
So if you win an election, you go to
I've seen.
One minute,
you
one
are
minute,
this
comrade,
money so
one
that you're
minute.
going. This is
One
not mental
minute,
health
one-
on you. They want our economics. So we want to speak pure plain English.
Mhm.
You go to election, you win the election. So that the people who you defeated, they don't want to go and run your government. You have to bring your technicians on
But
board.
how do you bring
to
technician
run.
and add additional people of the people than
You-
the people you met there?
Yeah,
That's the
but
point.
you're not getting the point. I
No,
said it.
no,
Okay, let me repeat myself.
Yeah,
again.
repeat yourself.
The people who on this way bear that the past regime put there, they are Liberians. And so as a government that come in power, you cannot remove them from the payroll because the government is the highest employer. The private sector is not functioning properly.
You keep them there.
You have to maintain
Granted.
them.
Okay.
And the legal process, even removing them from that payroll, is even more difficult. It is easier to get
You
on
keep
payroll.
them there. You keep them
You
adding
keep them
additional.
either very minute number. You start calling.
Yeah, of course. 63. I mean, slack. Yeah,
It says slightly, right?
Yes.
So, Mr. George.
Let me
So
send
Rob-
it.
Send it.
Mr. George.
That's you talking about
Yeah,
Sabah?
yeah, Sabah.
Then get respect.
To run the government, that is our name.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sabah
Go ahead.
George.
Go ahead.
To run the government, as my man is thinking about in the United States, where you can come, you just say, everybody go. The system in America allow law to remove everybody like that. It's not the same. It's the legal process is very, very strenuous, and the government may even end up spending more than if you keep.
So,
the people
are
on the
you
payroll.
justifying the slight increase, or you are not?
Yeah, certainly, even if Unity Party unfortunately having a lose election tomorrow, there will be slight increase in the labor force.
Okay, George. Let's
So
hear
the
from you.
economists have spoken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Moses, you can come back quickly, so we can transition.
Look, I just want to say that I feel vindicated that my brother inadvertently conceded to what I'm saying.
You're always saying that, yeah.
The promise was this: I will run a small but what efficient, and you increase that number. Even if you increase the number by 2, it means that you have already contradicted what you promised. You can't remove people. You said they are Liberians. You guys are in Liberia. You're supposed to put you there. Did you not see Mr. Bukka throwing our citizens for the government? They didn't throw them out. Go to LTA. Go to other national bank. Go to other institutions of government. Don't you see UP folks? Those Liberians that were there from the CDC are they not Liberians? And my brother George wants to argue that.
That's why I say you're going to it.
Okay, gentlemen,
If all the people came and they met a leadership in LTA or where, look, you don't expect someone from the past regime that was operating on different platform, different how to call it instruction, to come and be the head of your government in the entity that you want your arrest agenda to be implemented.
Even Moses said
That
wouldn't do
person
that.
doesn't support it. They will not be able to implement it properly. That's why in other countries, when you are
But
holding
this
certain
is not-
positions,
this is not an issue,
No, please,
comrade.
the issue is that
No,
where he's going.
comrade.
No, let me learn on this.
Okay.
That is the reason why mostly in that country where he's in, when Democrat wins, there are people saying now Republican in the position they will just leave automatically. They will not stay there. But here they will set,
And they have to be asked.
and they had to be asked to leave. Then when they didn't say took a boat from payroll, they put
Okay, gentlemen,
Somebody
I
get
think
in
I think
position.
that the point is the president has said that he wants for his people to benefit from the resources of the country.
Yeah, you allow the man to
deviate.
try to deviate.
No, that was part of the resources.
Deviate-
You know why it means to employ people and they are not doing anything? You pay them free money. That's part of the resources of the country that you dumping so.
Also, you call it-
That was going
Where?
Let me say somebody you get insulted the Liberian people. You get insulted the Liberian people jokingly. It's not
Why do you call
joke.
insult?
Fine.
You know how many persons said no. Wait. Let me give you evidence. You know how many persons said, even they themselves came out on radio and told us. You know how many persons said in Alina, who just woke up in the morning to go to work, they got nothing to work with, they got no equipment, and you pay them at the end of the year, at the end of the month. Then you come and say you insulted people. It's factual. What Moses said is factual. There are people employed who are not doing anything. They're taking the resources of the country. Then you say, hey, what can you counter that? Well, you can't counter that. You spoke your own.
No, I said you insulted
you learned
people.
And I clarified.
No, I was speaking. I was in flight. I didn't say how you insulted them. Let me say something to you today, to you and Mr. Sandy. These people are on the government payroll. Even if, just in case what I is saying is true, when they are being paid, it is their right to have access to the resources of this country.
So provide the environment. So you will no. So provide the environment. No. Listen. Provide the environment so that they can work and earn that money. And the right with provide the environment. You not have them working, they don't have any tools to work with. You employ them. Moses spoke about you are justifying the slave increase. It should be you. Other than other administration, you say no, it shouldn't be. But you justifying it because of an apology.
I was here during the president.
Because of an apology.
Former president, we had to. Did that stop them from just?
That's not an issue.
Former president,
you came to rescue. You came to rescue. So the system should be rescued properly. No, he didn't. No, Moses didn't say so. Moses said no. Moses said they can be retained, but you don't have to add up. You don't have to add up. Why add up? You added on the I will say, so that I will say you added up or what? The apologies? All right, I see you, gentlemen. We have to continue.
When was the last time did you?
No. You said you're not speaking in on economic matters because you are not an economist. Gentlemen, let's start a transition quickly. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, right on Prime FM 105.5. We are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Just step in Nighttime Heat. You're going to watch the show live, and of course, we also encourage you, to share the live videos so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow what's happening tonight on the program. Now, gentlemen, we'll have to talk about the Yeke Koluba drama. Yeke Koluba has been around for some time. In the last administration, during the last administration, Yeke Koluba was a man who was always firing. In fact, he came to prominence because of his aggressive and his loud speaking. But in recent time, Yeke, reportedly we are hearing that he's falling into trouble. There's discussion to have him expelled from the House of Representatives because of a statement that he made. Let's try to play this video because we'll play this video and then later on we'll play videos of people who supported Yeke in the past. Let's talk about that today.
NSL built something for the Equa people, right? So Equa people kind of the locality, then Joseph Boga complete. Joseph Boga said they're not paying no, government making no new land, right? Yeah. So Guinea King of collect the land.
Oh. Are you supporting Guinea? Are you supporting Guinea? Are you supporting Guinea?
Anything that is legal. Joseph Boga said God is not making new land. So Guinea fee within and sell the land for them. So they keep on the land.
Where are you going, Lofa?
Okay, let's pause that video. Now, Yeke made a statement, and that had triggered serious debate in street corners, in public gatherings, and there's mixture of views. In fact, there are individuals who think Yeke should go because Yeke has committed treason. One of those individuals is the current Montserrat County Superintendent, Smo Molba. In fact, Molba wrote a very long, Representative Smo Molba. In fact, he wrote a very long letter trying to justify why Yeke should be held for treason, because he had made the statement that the land that the Guineans are claiming belongs to Guinea. But in the face of that, there was a press statement from the executive mansion. That statement followed the president's visit to Guinea when he went to attend the tripartite meeting. In that press statement, it was indicated that Liberia was claiming the land. So, claiming the land, and Yeke who said, well, the land belongs, so we're going to look at that today. Besides, in the past, Yeke was then the darling boy. Everybody wanted Yeke to be on their side. Yeke, we understand through, and we know he threw missiles against the former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor. Yeke, on several occasions, threw missiles against George Weah. Let's hear this tape quickly. Please, play that tape. Don't sleep. Producer, play the tape, please.
My man, hospital tonight.
To this right.
They say they built something for the airport people, right? So airport people cannot go look at it.
What kind of the producer is sleeping here?
So
He makes him a tape.
something is echoing.
For me.
A staunch supporter of the opposition and think you can focus somebody like Yeke, you need to see the doctor. This man is a clear example of what commitment, not to individual, but to a country.
Correct.
Everything
Right.
Yeke reliable, he says about Liberia. My respect for Yeke is high. The guy is exemplary as far as commitment to the cause of the people, to the interest of the people is. And a lot of them are like that. It's not just the messaging, right? But they are like that. And my respect for Yeke, any day, anytime. Anytime. There's a friend of mine. We got personal friendship. He's a journalist. I just forget the man. He's in Yeke district. He been coming in my inbox telling me all the time he's running in the place and blah, blah, blah. Why would I support? I said, my man, there's no way. If my mom go to that district and say they're running there, I will support Yeke over my mom. That's what I told him.
All right, so, gentlemen, so like I said, Yeke became the darling boy. All the sides, all the political parties wanted Yeke at the time. And Yeke became prominent to the extent that when Yeke was going for election, people gathered support for Yeke. You just heard
Even left their districts.
they left that district. Thank you. You just heard the now current Minister of Information, Jeremy Matthew Pia. He's telling you that even if his mother went into a contest in the district of Yeke, you prefer Yeke to his mother. Gentlemen, let's hear from all of you. This whole Yeke stuff. Who made Yeke? And of course, let me begin with you, Moses, quickly.
Why when you call Moses, then you can be laughing?
You see that? Let me begin with you. Let me begin with you.
begin
No, let me begin with you.
No. I decline.
Oh, you decline?
I decline.
This is what you want to talk about. All right.
No, begin with Moses.
Moses, you can go ahead. Moses, go ahead.
Moses, come in, Moses. I'll protect you this time around.
Yeke Koloba, I was speaking to you. Let me make a full disclosure. I do not want to see Yeke in the legislature because he had too many problems. However, the tax which Representative Moba has initiated is a difficult tax because the very UP that is in government today, you heard my friend and brother Pia, they made Yeke. When Yeke was all over the place, using profanity on former President Weah, Pia, President Joseph Yuma Bonga, and the others were dining and whining with Yeke Koloba. The case Aba, Yeke say the land belongs to the people of Guinea. The press secretary said Labrador is claiming. So then another lawyer. So what these two persons have said now is that we have a legal matter. Our press secretary said we are claiming. Yeke said no, it's not for you. We need to go to court to prove who owns the border. There's no room here for someone to say, oh, you know, I want Yeke Koluba expelled. Representative Molba accused the hell of what? Espionage, treason, engaging, collaborating with other people to unseat a constituted government. How does he prove that? What has Yeke Koluba done for anyone to say that it's treasonable? How can he prove that? Yeke expressed an opinion. Your press secretary wrote an official statement saying that the land is not yours because you are claiming. So if you're going after Yeke, then you should also be going after your press secretary. We have a case. There's an uphill tax. And I think I listened to Senator Dillon today. I'll share the video with you guys.
Yes, we'll be playing the video very shortly.
Senator Dillon said he lacks the moral standing to face Yeke because what? They made Yeke.
Okay, so please hold there. Let's play the video so our listeners can hear that video also. Let's play the video. Yeah, we'll come to it. No, we have to play the video.
That video going back.
We have to. Let's play the video. The issue is let's play the video.
Respond to Representative Yeke, this and that. Julius, I got no moral standing to respond to Yeke when he dealing with us. Because Yeke ain't changed and we don't want change.
Yeah.
Yeke only change job we are need to Joseph Boaga. The same thing you are doing the job we are when you do Joseph Boaga. But when you are doing the job we raise a hand for a real election. So Yeke fair bare flip. Citizen happy today. Rescue people fair. Yesterday, rescue people were happy. Citizen were fair. Yeke stay in the middle.
Okay, please stop that. Yeah, Moses, continue quickly. Then we'll come to Dave.
No, yeah, I just wanted to say that the senator wrapped the entire argument that the UP lacks that moral standing. I know they're going to throw a lot of money around. They're going to throw a lot of money around like they did for, like they did in the case of Kofa. They're going to throw a lot of money around. But that is an uphill tax. Yeke has his own people too. Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go you there. Dave, let's hear from you.
Well, you know, let me begin with Davos, Senator Dillon. You know, I like that guy because he's a realist. He's a realist, and I agree with him. I totally agree with Dillon. The first thing is that, you know, the party people shouldn't be lambasting Yeke because of his attitude. They can be a lot, because yesterday, they clapped for him when he was, you know, making similar inelegant, I call them inelegant comments about President Weah. Today, he making similar comments about President Joseph Boakai. So, look, let it be that way, and you know, party shouldn't be crying for whatever Yeke, you know, what utterances he's making. And on this one, I agree with Moses, because what Yeke said is not different from the statement made by the press secretary. Because if you say Liberia is claiming, what it implies is that it's Guinea that owns that piece of land and Liberia is claiming it. So the two statements are similar, except they said in different ways. Yeke said the land belongs to Guinea. Similarly, the press secretary said Liberia is claiming the land. Whether it was an oversight or not, since that time, no one has come up to make a clarification of that. So we mean she stands by her word that Liberia is claiming that land. What punitive action has anyone called for against the press secretary who made that statement? or it has become a matter of comprehension. People, I mean, people don't want to interpret it that way when it implies if somebody is claiming something, women, the person is not the legitimate owner of that thing, and they claiming it. That's what that statement implies at a time. And Yeke is saying similar thing, just in different ways. So why are people pursuing or suggesting that Yeke should be expelled from the House of Representatives? And no one has ever suggested that punitive action should be taken against the press secretary of the Republic of Liberia, of the government. So, I mean, I see some unfairness here. I see some biases here.
So who made Yeke? That's the question we're trying to answer now.
The society, the community, the Liberian society made Yeke. Because the first thing is that if people during those days, because of Yeke's, lousy talk and unguided comments about other people, very important people, including the former president, we had and others, and we clapped for him yesterday, and people left their districts to go and register in District 10 because their desire was Yeke should come to the legislature. So they dressed the devil. So why are we crying foul?
Including your own boss.
That your politics. No,
I'm just asking.
Who my boss? I'm not. I continue to tell you that I don't work for.
Okay, including John Limepia. He made the reference, Yeke, right? When he said that that even if his mother was to go in any contest against Yeke, he will make sure that he choose Yeke over his mother.
Why do you want to drag?
No, I'm just asking now.
No, I said.
No, we're trying to establish how did Yeke.
If I say society made Yeke.
That includes
the Liberian Society.
That includes the Minister of Information.
You want me to call names?
No, I just asking.
No. Please.
All right, let me hold you.
Let me hold you. Let me, George. Let me say the way I want to say it.
Yes.
Yeke was elected in November, October 2017.
Okay.
Yeke was made before 2023 election. He was a sitting lawmaker. What the current regime did, apologies of the current administration did,
including you.
Please, you're not going to distract me because you said that UP made.
No, you say apologies. Yeah, no, nobody saying.
Contested. No, that's why you've been saying we can play the recording.
Go ahead, quickly. Go ahead.
So I want
you say apologies. Apologies of who now?
Fine. Yeke ran as independent candidate 2017. He won.
You still saying this?
No, I'm repeating it because you kept saying that UP made. You're going to Jeremy Pia. You're going to this one.
The Mesa community. They are saying including Pia. You heard them, but you didn't hear Pia's voice.
So clearly,
and Moses Asali.
Pia was not spokesperson for the United Party campaign.
He was a key member.
That one.
Okay, fine.
So tell us now. Somebody leading the campaign.
Okay, so tell us now.
So
give us your opinion.
Fine. So
how Yeke was made.
Yeke made himself by means of the people on the old road, District 10. That was not his first time contesting, though. He won clearly. He went to the House. He became first. It was an honest voice that people saw. Later, it turned out to be a hostile, rude, and very arrogant voice. But any politician, if you see the support base of that individual, all that thing he was doing, he never had support base, no politician will go behind him. That's politics. So when the opposition, some members of the opposition saw that he was the center of attention, especially the past government, when they started carrying armament to a horse to break it and other things, he started winning sympathy from the population. He became more hostile. So it's better for us to tell this story so the people can know how this man became prominent. The past government helped mostly to make Yeke more prominent in Liberia until even on the street, 102 police director, deputy police director for administration or operations want to arrest him on the street that were clashing. He stood on the car and showing himself during the administration.
And during the campaign time, he was all with you.
So during the
flying your flag,
time,
right?
No, that was the end.
Yeah, go ahead. No end product. No beginning product, end product. Go ahead.
That the beginning product in 2017.
Go ahead now. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll have a transition,
No,
comrade.
please don't give me chance. Give me chance. All that here, Toya.
Go ahead.
Cold water
Go
inside.
ahead. What is cold water can you Go ahead.
So at the end of the day, when some apologists of the Unity Party saw that Yeke was very popular and they could buy into his population, now Yeke himself, they decided to buy into it because the government already made Yeke popular and relevant in the society by attacking him to his residence.
So you bought into it now, yeah? That's it.
So it worked perfectly. It worked perfectly.
For the Unity Party?
Yes, they won. When they won, Yeke is not being prosecuted for insulting President Boakai, as people were saying. Yeke is being prosecuted today for the statement, the arrest statement that he made at that land from his that the wrong tape he played.
On nationalistic.
Listen to me. Let me learn on this. That the wrong tape he played to help Yeke.
Go ahead.
The real tape. He said, yeah. He said he has investigated.
Three allegations now.
But I got it tape.
No, you said
because I want to help him. I want popular for him.
Okay, go ahead.
That he has investigated and he found out that particular land is for Guinea.
Okay, now
that is a difference.
Granted.
Listen to me. He from a different branch of government, the legislature, the House of Reps. All right, they see that as a violation of not only their rules but the Constitution.
Granted.
Kula.
No, granted.
The president. That you want to put words in my mouth. No. I'm taking it in one by one.
Nobody putting words in your mouth.
Fine.
You're explaining.
Kula, working in the office of the president, use the word killing by Liberia. And we discussed it one time. We said she was wrong.
So what is the difference there now?
There's a big difference.
What is the difference?
Fine. The word claim, you claiming something is something that in dispute. You want it, the other person want it.
No, put it clear. Put it simple. That is not for you.
No.
No, put it simple.
No, that's the meaning of claim.
But
that's not the meaning. No, define the word.
No, it's not for you. That way claiming it.
It's in dispute. You say it for you, the other person say it for them. It's different from
so you want to go do your research?
Yeah.
No, but it means that it's not for you.
I'm looking
the other person say directly for the other person. That two different statements.
This is the word claim.
No, 1 minute. Yeah, read it 1 minute.
This is the word claim.
Moses are coming.
A claim is an assertion that something is true, often without immediate proof, or a demand for something believed to be. Oh wow, this thing gave me hard.
Yeah, the man reading the thing. Let it clear. But the man asked heading. Give the man blue glasses.
It's in dispute. The ownership of the
man has seen problems.
The different parties claiming to that party.
Hold it, please. Hold your peace. Hold your peace. Yesterday you were saying that she didn't do well. That was the same. Today you changing your word.
No,
you changing your word today.
I didn't change my word.
That way
no, 1 minute.
1 minute. That way.
We said
one minute.
That we said she was wrong.
Comrade, you said yesterday that was what's the statement? And the statement you can make was the same.
Let me continue to read it.
Yeah.
It said for
it's palpable now.
Something believed to be due, such as a right, ownership, or compensation. It implies a statement that is open to challenge or requires support.
So when you have something for you, why will you challenge it? When something is for you, you believe it for you, why will you challenge it? You're not saying that's it. Why will you challenge it?
It's not different from what
it's not different from what you can say.
No.
All right, that hold you there.
It's clear that they lay here for Guinea.
Comrade, that hold you there. You want to explain? That hold you there. And Moses can come in. We have to transition. We have our last story here. We have to transition. Yeah, go ahead, Moses.
So, look, what the press secretary said was that she simply told us that the ownership of that property, the ownership of the border remains what? Questionable. We say it is ours, and the Guineans say it is theirs. So it's the same thing that Yeke said. Yeke is saying, are you there? So, George, we have problem, eh? George? George, do we have problem?
Which is in that's beyond our control. The power outage, and now we are on generator. Guinea has taken its current, so this is some of the things we have to go through. The one we are receiving from Ivory Coast and adding with the one we have is one we're all using. So we have to be praying for our country. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, directed on Prime FM 105.5, and of course, also we are streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Gentlemen, let's just go over this 1 minute each, and then we can transition and open the lines quickly. Okay, Tap, let's hear from you.
Again.
Not on yet.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that, the argument is over the word claim. And what a claim and how to call it, Yeke statement that the land belongs to Guinea. And Kula Fofana said Liberia is claiming the land. I'm saying that there's similarity in what the two persons said. That if you say person is claiming something, we mean it doesn't belong to the person is claiming it. Maybe it has some, as your argument is she's a lawyer.
No, talk for yourself.
No, you say legally,
illegally
she's right. I'm not a lawyer. But as far as I'm concerned,
but initially you are beating the chest. Is that you are wrong?
Yeah. The one I'm saying.
He beat the chest.
Yeah, he beat the chest.
No, this is wrong.
You were wrong. We had a discussion. You agreed that Kula was wrong. On what basis did you say you were wrong? Because the word claim that implies that Liberia doesn't own that piece of land, it belongs again. Liberia is claiming it. So what's the difference between what Kula said and where Yeke said?
Okay, that's what
why is anybody?
Let's read it.
Yeah.
Josh.
The other time,
Yeah, 1 minute, please.
I will not going to sit on the show here something that I know that is very correct, and people try to spin it around and sit here.
No, say what you would do.
The word claim in law, it means something that is yours, something that you have rights to it. You can go and define it. That's why I did not just reduce myself to the literal meaning. I believe that's the reason why the government did not come after Kula. Your right is anything that you have claim on. If you don't have claim on it, it's not your right. So I'm not going to jump into the way you're understanding it. I can interpret it the way I'm going to interpret it. So I'm saying that the two are not the same. One of them was very direct.
So you're looking at from
no, you were talking and listen to you, please. Give me a chance.
I'm asking you a question.
I told you you don't want to interview me.
1 minute. Yeah, you asked only 1 minute.
That other one was very direct. He said, and I quote, that land is for Liberia. If you can Google that word in the legal meaning, will tell you that what you can claim on something is your right. Okay, so this one is saying Liberia is claiming.
Okay,
they're not the same.
So why did you initially agree that Kula was wrong?
To your question
No, but you initially when we had a discussion.
To your question.
Initially when we had a discussion, you agreed that Kula was wrong.
In fact, he scored a Kula.
You want to ask me a question,
okay.
Saba?
No, let's go there. Moses can come in. Moses on. 1 minute.
Yeah, the both statements are synonymous. What Yeke Koluba said was that land belongs to the people of Guinea. He made a very declaratory statement. The land belongs to the people of Guinea. And that's where the process is going to come in. Another lawyer, if Yeke is taking the court, he will be able to, or when he's giving due process, be able to establish legally that property belongs to Guinea. In the case of our press secretary, she said Liberia is claiming. She's basically saying that, hey, we have a right to this, we have a right to the ownership of this property. Because the property is being disputed, the ownership is being disputed. We have a right to this property. And as a country, we are all saying, this is our property, this is our property, this is our property. Our press secretary came and contradicted us. She said, hey, this property is in dispute. We have a right. So we have to go to court. The Guineans will have to go to court and establish that ownership.
What's that mean going for you?
But they are the men said they're the same. Why you dance for the men? They're the same. No, why you dance for the men? But because they were dance. No. The man is saying what the guy said.
Definitive.
Listen, the man is saying what could Yeka say is the same as what could.
No, that's not what he said.
I said to you.
That's not what he said.
Okay. Let's try to transition. You're not what let's try to transition. Let's transition, gentlemen. And our last story before we can transition. What's the video, please? There's a video about the CDC stuff. Yeah, please play that video quickly. Let me ask this one question, and I'll move on. Please, 1 minute.
No, I get it.
Let me tell you something today.
Got a video. Now, while we're trying to inquire here, I think we all saw the large attendance. We've been seeing the pictures as well and the images from that Grand Pastor program. Today, the CDC held its program in its Grand Pastor chapter. Yeke was there and others were there. But if you saw the turn up was very huge. I mean, absolutely no one can challenge that. Now, the question is, let me begin with you, Tab, because I don't want somebody to say, oh, the man begin with Moses again.
No.
No.
You can begin with anyone.
Let me begin with you. Mm-hmm. With what we saw today, the turn up, not basically about the key individuals that were there, but you saw the population of Grand Bassa County. Mm-hmm. It's like the CDC held the Grand Bassa County today. Does it mean that the Congress of Democratic Change is still a formidable force?
That is indisputable.
Okay.
The Congress of Democratic Change, the main opposition party in the country, would always be a formidable party. Being defeated in 2023 doesn't mean that popularity has eroded.
Okay. To
some extent, it eroded. But because had it not, the population would not have gone the way of how they call it, Joseph Boakai, the Unity Party. But what we're seeing today is to further tell the Liberian people that the CDC still remains a popular party in Liberia. And sometimes crowds are deceptive. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people who are boring. There are a lot of people who are less busy. There are a lot of people who, out of curiosity, want to witness certain events, mm-hmm. not necessarily because they are part of the party or they are part of the group. But you said they were nothing doing. There's crowds somewhere, drums are being played, people are jubilating. I have to go and see. This is not only apply to the CDC alone. Mm-hmm. It could be the Unity Party, it could be the Liberty Party. But wherever crowd is, and there's jubilation, or even if something happens and have a celebration, people will stay poor there. So, I mean, yes, of course, it speaks the fact also that CDC remains a formidable party, and no one should dispute that.
Okay, that's what you did. Yes, George.
The same question?
Yeah.
Yes. CDC, they are the second biggest political party in the Republic. You can't take that from them. Mm-hmm. And they'll continue on the 2029, still be the second biggest political party. A lot of people in our place wanted to see Yeke, who the people want to impeach, and they'll go see him. Yeah.
You say you're like, why are you laughing again? Go ahead. Nobody put what's your body laughing. No, what are you saying? But sure that you sure why you saying?
Why?
Like, why you
I
laughing?
was saying something. I'm
Go
just
ahead.
very relaxed about this because this one is not anything
Why?
for my attention. Because what happened in Basel, I can clearly tell you that it's good for CDC. It's good that now they started their inroads, at least trying to make themselves visible. We get Korba heading the team, this and that to go around.
Had the same team yesterday.
Going around, you know. Yeah, Korba never held you by the team anyway. He was always on his own with his group. Don't tell anybody.
He didn't follow you. He didn't follow your campaign trail.
That's a
No,
difference
but he
between
followed you
him.
on your campaign trail,
No,
and you allow him to make
That is the
statements.
difference between
Comrade,
Eddie
did you allow him to make statements?
He was
Be
a
your campaign
follower. He was a follower
Ah.
to some of the era. He was never heard.
Okay, that's what we did. Moses can come in quickly.
Yeah, I looked, both Mr. Tugbe and Mr. Kennedy are saying that the CDC cannot be taken for granted. And I think this is a wake-up call as well to the United Party. They need to begin to do some reflection. What do they need to work on? Those who be in slumberland, thinking that everything will just be an easy ride come 2029. They need to begin to have a second thought. The CDC is alive. That's what I want to say.
Okay, so we'll have to open the lines quickly. And like I said, today is Friday. I want us to leave from about 10 o'clock, but it's after 10. Let's try to open the lines for a few of our callers. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793 or 0880 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507 or 0776 540 987. That's the alternative line. 0776 540 987. Let's take the first call on the line quickly. Good evening. Hello. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir.
My name is James Collar. I call you from UN Drive.
Let's hear from you, Mr. Collar.
Yeah. With the issue on the I hear you talking about Yeke Koluba. Let us pour a leading personal feeling. This is time to show to our country. The statement from that is a statement of alignment. According to Article A2, aligning oneself with people or nation that is at war or in a state of war. Are we at war with Guinea? No. Are we in a state of war with Guinea? Yes. The statement that Guinea is you are alarming yourself with treason. So it is in the of the heart to forgive him, to punish him, or to expel him. The backing of the Constitution 100%. So those who talking that Yeke is wrong, they're not helping Yeke. The Constitution is clear.
Okay.
682.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So, with the issue of CDC showing strength in Grand, of course, they want Grand Basel. So if they continue, fine. They want it.
Okay. Okay. Many thanks. Let's take another call on the line quickly. This caller. Good evening.
Hello, Sama.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how do you do?
I'm okay. Your name?
Okay, so my name is Martin Sungwetuba and I join you from Pinsville this night.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Let me say hi to your panelists on your discussion table.
Hello, Martin.
As it relates to your topic, the sporadic topics on the discussion, I want to say that I just want to pick on the aspect that have to do with Honorable Yeke Kolba issues.
Okay.
I think what Honorable Kolba did when it comes to actions to this country is actually something that anywhere meaning Liberian we stand and clap the hand for that. Everyone need to condemn the actions, because if you just historicize our nations, you will know that Liberia was established before Guinea. His statement undermines this country, so no one should appreciate it. When it comes to the aspect of the CDC having their maybe get together in some fun time in Grand Bazaar, we want to appreciate them because they're one of the panelists did that. They are the second biggest political party in this country, and they are following the footsteps of the Unity Party. But as it stands, I don't think they have wait for now to really stand and say that yes, they get overwhelmed. The Unity Party come 2029.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you for filling the opportunities. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Martin. 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793 or 086 050507. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir. No, he's not on the show. Okay.
I want to thank you for always one of the more. I hear you say something like he has a man contested against Yeke. You will really prefer Yeke over a man. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me say this. You know, this is one of the ministers. He is one of the officials of the government I love so much. But I can't session you for a statement. But that is a view. But if he asks me as a preacher, I would think Yeke party at the time. During our opposition, Yeke forward to be re-elected in this way. I hear some people can say Yeke can before. Yeke not can before. If the way we want to get it, we got at that time, if opposition not coming there for you, not coming to win. In this way, we can go rescue him there. But Yeke not to understand that during George Weather is there. You are now having a privilege to air a view to the parliament. But today, he has been a population, but nothing they brought your offer. Nothing has to look at. So we begin to realize that Yeke have nothing to offer like it was mysterious for Yeke to be represented in this. Even now, if he is cannot see the nature, but they will not influence the men.
Okay.
The election that are going to know that the serious embarrassment because for the border issue in local campaign, they take it as a face value because the office is occupying. In that speaking as a Yeke Mune, he is still that is for fight. Like it or not, Yeke is so.
Okay. All right.
Representing.
Okay.
So when people for me, I agree with the state what they against me because it's your embarrassment. They play all the offices enough for nobody, enough inherited.
Okay, you made your point. You made your point. Let's take additional calls, please. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. 0778 460 793. Let's take this call on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Moses and I call you from Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah, with regard to the utterance or the statement made by Mr. Kolba, it's just very, very unfortunate that he, as the lawmaker of our country, will make such an special statement against the country. It just shows that this man fresh in protecting the
is what a Cody said, and he needs to be impeached. I think the other need to work together to get him out of that office because he's a total embarrassment to us as Liberians.
Okay.
What he said could be used against us as a Liberian. It's very unfortunate when his partner said that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. 0778-460-793 or 0886-050507. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Okay. Hello? Yeah, let's hear from you. You are live.
When you are a leader and you push people to the wall that they are something for indecision, sometimes some of these people will just come for someone or thinking that they just want to does not mean it's something that is not like it's real, like you play for the people. Yes, it's speaking out of frustration, it's speaking out of, down nothing because everybody is telling when they having because come on here. Supposed to the people who are going, but people living in that, they are suffering for decision. So if somebody else, they couldn't be, they can go to somebody else. So you can send it for me. I'm not saying you can, in a way, you can want to say that for pay attention to what is happening. So I'm not okay.
Okay, let's get another call on the line. Good evening.
Mr. Josh.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm okay.
So how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, I want to thank you in the panel. For mustering the courage, using the energy coming to discuss our country. On the public achievement of it. My name is Pony.
Okay.
I'm popularly known as Pony Jr. I speak from Bushwa Island.
Okay.
The first caveat and disclaimer I'd like to say that member of the House of Representatives are 9P. They are suspended.
Expelled.
They are expelled. The president, the vice president, the judiciary are impeached with Associate Justice, President, and Vice President. So I hear too many people, if they're falling from the should be impeached. You don't impeach legislators. Legislators are not impeached. The senator representative, they are suspended, they are removed, they are
expelled.
Well, president, the vice president, member of the judiciary. The second point I'd like to come up with is that Yeke statement is a national security threat. So what are the facts? Before you come up, this land it's not about the normal and natural politicking. Sovereignty start to rise. So, his statement was absolutely responsible. So, am I live?
Yes, you are live. We are hearing you.
Yeah. You cannot be a lawmaker. People are investigating. People are putting that. So, critical national issue. I told somebody, they said, Pony, what's wrong with you? I said, no, grab that point yet. I said, we have English encroachment. There was a heated debate at Continental Graduate School. We went into the dictionary for encroachment. I said, we are disputed with occupation, but not practice.
Okay. All right, Pony, let's take yeah.
So this is our show. Doesn't mean probably. I want to come next week.
But, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Just call me, Pony. Call me privately. All right. Let's get the call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
again.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes, it's confirmed whenever you get called back. Me, as for we, the people that you speak, then you must have no problem with your called back. Because at the last time when President we are in power, the new statement against President, we are the former president. And the same Unity Party people were supporting the idea, placing your record back. Why now? Whenever your record back, we are going this with them. We'll continue to vote for your record back. We believe that it's so great that you try to tell, exposing them, that we are growing your record back. You can tell us that, but you your record back. And your record back will be of this kind of thing.
Okay. Okay, let's take two more calls. That's all. Let's take this caller. We'll take another one. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I mean, just the panel tonight. There is William Covey, and I joined this conversation from this member of the United Party Intellectual Bureau.
Okay.
And let me appreciate all of you for the very analysis of the issue. First, let me begin with the YEKE. So, let me appreciate you for playing except from Jerry Mavia, Darren DeLon, and the UPL. Thank you very much. But also, I will ask you to go to also play clip. The success from the CDT, the division. Look, every 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., your sister radio station, UFM, as like to play at the teaser. What a great for us this year. When Yeke President next time, we will beat him. That was great also.
Yeah, no problem. When you send me the clips, send me the clips.
Was the information minister on the administration. When you refer to Yeke as the president, you can play that clip. You can also play the clip. But you just calling Yeke a crazy man, a man who must, and what have you? All those things you can play can be balanced. Look, let's be clear. When people take an issue, I would also the teachers to it because they introduced this thing against Yeke. Yesterday, when they suspended Yeke for 4 months or that, I said it was good. But what happened today? Look, just be clear. When yesterday you think it was projected to be such as we are going to be issue of for Yeke to be such what happened. For me, look, we supported Yeke Android yesterday. Why we did so? Because Yeke was big trouble. Right? Even in the past, the during of instruction, yes, but not a day for whatever recognize plenary to speak on behalf of people asking about the citizens. It was denied.
Okay. All right. Let's take another caller quickly because we have to go. Let's take the last caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas. And I join you for the electoral district in the borough of Nikutan. First, I appreciate you so much for this fascinating topic on the discussion. But somebody know Mr. Cordoba's statement of all world Liberians to find as Honorable Cordoba. Reason B is that you cannot see our country into a situation where another country, and then you come on air as a text man to make such a statement against your country. Where is your state humanity in the Cordoba? Is it about criticizing every government thinking that you will get the support of the people? Well, the honest one is the Cordoba State Victor is going to do the no awaited info by exploring for the Cordoba. You know, I let you know that Mr. Cordoba did this doing the past regime. But if you're not able to run government and somebody continue to step outside of their function, then you allow them to do it. But we, the Union Partisans, also government with discipline again, let's have discipline our own or their way to of the key. So it is very clear.
Okay. Okay. Many thanks to all of the callers. Will be here always on a daily basis. Will be a gentleman. Let just a few seconds. Tawa, your closing
Well, if you listen to all the colors, all their concerns were all about Yeke, that shows you that the majority of our compatriots are very angry with Yeke and they feel that Yeke's statement was a betrayal to the state, and that there's a need that he faces the consequences.
Okay, George.
Thank you. The last time I said, before even this thing could come off, I said Yeke action was treasonous, and I said he's the real traitor. At this moment, it was not the so-called rebel general that spoke, and because I very emphasized on him because of the role that he holds, he's a state actor, and now it is coming to light. And I insist, the word "clean" is your right to something. And we should not misconstrue that when we come on the show. It's different from to say this is mine, ain't no this and that, like the way Yeke did.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Moses, your pattern coming quickly. Few seconds.
Yeah, I want to say it was indeed a great show. I would just like to wrap up on the Yeke conversation. This is where I differ with Morbert and my brother George Kennedy. I would say Yeke's announcement is treasonable. They are basically implying that Yeke connive or is conniving with enemy forces. Liberia and Guinea are not, both countries are not at war. We have a dispute over a border. Having a dispute is not war. We have a dispute that must be proven in the International Court of Justice. We want to go that route. That's the way forward.
Okay, yes, George.
So because it's a Sandy, particularly mention my name and trying to misinform. Let me clear this. Very good. There is a war at that border. Bullet was fired, somebody got injured. When you wear your uniform, your military uniform, from your country and cross the border to another country and hoist a flag, it's a direct declaration of war. And where, in fact, you discharge arm, you wound somebody. Let Mr. Sandy not forget about this. So, any citizen of that country, the affected country, that tend to support that particular force is treasonous.
Okay. All right, gentlemen,
So
we have to go. We have to go.
Yeah.
We have to go. Let me just, we can call all of the names. Let me just call a few of the names quickly. Felicia's Giamba, they've been watching online from Newtown. Emmanuel Bro, you've been watching online from the USA. Theo S. Macaulay from the UDA, he's been watching online. Ophelia S. George, been watching online. Clara Kujumala, my good friend, been watching online. Mantonian Son from Badnazo, been watching online. Okay, Ibrahim V.E.M. been watching online. We can call all of the names. Well, we'll be back on Monday, God willing. And of course, rest assured, they show, like we said, it's a platform to incorporate all the views. We're not going to sanction anybody. We're not going to stop anybody. And we come with the views. They want to think, be very civil, be civilized. Don't use invectives. We're not having on this program. That's the reason why, in fact, just a few weeks ago, we had to expel Prince Kripala. He was getting to be very, very intolerable. Until then, Sabo George is my name. Have a pleasant night.